All right, welcome to another Power Comics book club. I'm joined here by Benjamin Marra, of course. How's it going, Ben?
Very well, thank you.
Good, good, good. And Gabe Deichel, our head researcher here at Power Comics.
What's up?
How's it going?
Head researcher, I love it.
Head
Great,
researcher.
man.
You're the guy that clicks on like all of the publishers in every online e-tailer and goes through all alphabetically. So.
Power Comics, Rain Man.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about an all-time favorite Power comic of ours, right, Gabe? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, my personal favorite publishing house, and maybe my favorite of their releases here.
Yeah. So we're looking at Dreamkeep, which is obviously a gonzo fantasy adventure here, which is a lot of mood, little story, a lot of mood. Yeah, Modern Night Comics, incredible output. They are responsible also for Soul Warrior and Daznor. Such an amazing output here, especially when you put them here side by side. And the cool thing about these comics, well, I guess maybe it's not cool, but the fact that's another common Power Comics trait that we talk about here is that they only survive the one issue. They're the one issue curse. So these are all one shots. So unfortunately, what we're going to be looking at with Dreamkeep is basically as far as the story went. But first, I wanted to ask, Ben, this was your first time with Dreamkeep. Before we crack it open, what did you think?
I loved it. It's been on my radar for a while, but haven't had the chance to read it until now, and it's mind-blowing. It actually turned out to be way different than I expected. I didn't think it was going to be like a science fantasy story. I thought it was just going to be straight up like D&D style fantasy works, and there's quite a few swerves in there I didn't see coming, like the way it sort of sets things up and then goes a completely different direction.
Yeah, it has an incredible setup, actually. I think it's actually my favorite part of it is the setup.
Yeah, I would argue that it's an amazing story. Again, Ben, judging from this cover, it looks like a exhausting action figure fight.
Totally.
You're just gonna be reading through exactly like a Hasbro commercial.
Totally.
And but the idea is really cool.
Really
cool.
The
art is actually really interesting. I was blown away because when I found it, all I had to go off was like a tiny JPEG online, and I was like, oh, this will be a hilarious. I almost thought it was just going to be like a cover, one of our many cover Power Comics that are just mostly garbage. But this one is, it's a real gem.
Yeah, because sometimes when you're collecting Power Comics, there's a lot, you're looking online, you're looking at a lot of low-res JPEGs on different websites, and you're just hoping that it's going to be good. And you take that risk, that blind buy, usually it's like $1 risk, but you take it, but then of course it takes 3 months to get to you. And then when it finally shows up and it's like, oh shit, it's only about this cool cover, or it's only about this shitty cover, and then you look inside and it's either too good or it's boring and the art isn't interesting. But this is anything but boring. This is extremely interesting art. So without further ado, let's crack it open. And immediately we are greeted by the Modern Night logo, a sign of excellence here at the Power Comics laboratories.
It's a great logo.
Yeah. It is a great logo. It's awesome. And right here we're seeing at the here's the comment, the amazing defining Power Comics intro here that we have from the creators, who usually lay out all their frustrations, who they want to replace and fire, and reasons why the art isn't up to snuff. But here we learn an interesting backstory about the creators of this comic book. Is that they say that the original art was lost. Did you notice that?
Or the artist was? What does it say?
No, not the artist.
I thought when I read it, I was like, oh, did the artist die? No, I guess it's just the art was lost. Yeah,
he's like on a milk carton somewhere. No, but yeah, the original art for this issue was lost, and apparently they must have been on some deadline or something, and so they had to quickly get these other two guys in the saddle to draw this, and maybe that's why it's so fucking cool. I mean, I don't know what say you, Ben?
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, this I'd like to say is kind of a well written
It is.
opening
Complete sentences, yeah.
document. Yeah, for there is one sentence in here that is complete gibberish that really threw me off. But for the most part,
do you remember which one it was?
Yeah, let me find it.
While you're finding it, one thing here that maybe this is the same thing, but I also appreciated how they were like, we here at Modern Night have a rule that is punishable by a slow and painful death.
Yes.
Never try to put a limit on what can happen in each book. So, they're just showing that, there's no bounds to creativity here at Modern Night. And obviously, as we see, once we get the opportunity to look at these, that definitely rings true. With everything that they're, huffing over there at Modern Night.
And one thing to interject here is this issue has not one but two little juicy little tidbits of teasers of never to be released issues, including Carcass.
Carcass.
Coming soon. It's I don't. Most of them are like they'll at least give you like a
unbelievable
like the cover page of this. What the fuck is Carcass, man?
So cool. Coming soon. How do you kill what is already dead? Like instantaneously, I'm getting, and I'm sure Ben, you'll agree, role playing vibes.
Definitely role playing vibes. Definitely like heavy metal vibes.
Oh yeah, heavy metal role playing vibes.
Yeah, all around. This is that. Here's that sentence that.
Oh please.
It's in the third graph.
Okay.
A few lines down. Then make sure that I owed him for life. So I don't know what that.
Then make sure that I owed him for life. Okay, so and he's in that sentence. What he's trying to process there is he's trying to thank the two artists here, which are Todd Wade and John Ogden, who stepped in presumably last minute when the original art for this issue was lost. Okay. Without further ado, I'm sure everybody at home is just like, show us the fucking art. Right.
Yeah.
Here we go. Ready? Oh, no, you're not ready for it. Sorry. Wait. Oh, yeah. Wow.
Boom.
Immediately fucking radical.
So cool.
And so good. I just love this design of what is the outer walls of the Dreamkeep, as we'll learn here. And just an amazing, just grabs you, does it not?
It's great art, man. I was saying earlier to Evan, it's kind of got like a Bob Nunnian vibe. It's kind of a little bit of that weird.
I think it has the hollow lifelessness of Bob Nunn.
The facial features, It's got some
like Bob Nunn is like basically drawing vessels, empty vessels of humans. You know what I'm saying? And there's no life behind those eyes. And I think this has that too, which we'll see on the next page for sure. So hold on to that. But one thing that stuck out to me too is I had to read this like 8 times. I don't know if y'all were with me on this, but I was like,
I got it right away, bud.
Did you really? Oh shit. One thing we'll learn as we go through this issue is that
Wentara.
is like the names these guys are cooking up. They are so excited to make up some names for this of just total gibberish fantasy names, which is so cool to me. Love it too. So on the planet Gwentara, the death penalty has been abolished unless the lawbreaker is foolish enough to resist the member of the righteous companions ... And that's what freaked me out. And then I was like hanging on the edge of this thread, and I went, oh, over here. That comes to arrest him for his crimes against the people. So I had to think about what the hell that means. And then what it means is obviously, which doesn't make real logic, is that the death penalty has been abolished in this world, but the only way you can die is if you have refused to be arrested.
I know, such a pointless, confusing addition. It's like we set up that there's no death penalty unless you don't listen to these guys, then you can be killed.
Yeah.
It's like, what is the point of that?
It's so crazy.
I didn't think about that, but you're right. That is insane.
Yeah, it's like he's writing it and he's like, the death penalty is abolished, but what if he doesn't listen to it? Yeah, I guess then there's that scenario. Then
yeah.
You should draw a page of that to make us aware.
Yeah, oh, you're right. Shit. Maybe that was a mistake they corrected when the art got destroyed. They're like thought of the one flaw in their plot. So anyway, amazing, incredible. I love it. And then it goes to here again, another amazing establishing shot of the Dreamkeep. And it says here, instead, the most severe criminals are incarcerated at Dreamkeep, the maximum security penal institution. And so awesome. Now, obviously, we're just hit across the fucking face with some Dreamkeep here. And this is kind of what I was talking about, gang, with the whole like lifelessness.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
There's nothing inhabiting or driving these.
There's just vapor inside that skin.
Yeah. Totally. Husks interacting with each other.
Cool, man.
So cool. And then here's where the concept emerges, which is really where Dreamkeep excels, in my opinion.
Yes.
Here the punishment fits the crime. Okay. The lawbreaker is put in an alternate plane and forced to dream their worst nightmare for the term of their sentence.
So fucking cool, dude.
So fucking cool. So immediately we're just seeing like, and this like, fucking, simian, hairy simian man, and a beak dude, like beak people chilling in the background. And presumably taking them in here into what would be this like perma dream chamber where you're living out, some crazy snaky shit.
At this point, I thought that this is the comic. We're in the Dreamkeep for good. Like we're gonna explore
that would be so good.
We're gonna explore the Dreamkeep and all of its,
I know,
glory.
I wish I could take a time machine back to shake him with that idea. Like, should have kept it in the Dreamkeep.
Well, I mean, issue 8 was all about living in the Dreamkeep. By then, we had characters we cared about.
Right.
But amazing, right? I mean,
yes,
just
awesome
fantastic.
Idea.
Fucking fantastic.
I hope this sentence is like a week long. You can't really live in your nightmare for that long,
Yeah. What is how long is the sentence? We don't know.
You get 1 day in the Dreamkeep and then you're done.
No, the longer it is, the trippier it is. I mean, for us as readers, I think.
There's a great episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine where one of the characters has to serve a prison sentence for a crime, but the alien race that he committed the crime against, their prison sentence only lasts for a minute, but in that minute you live for like 10 years.
Yes.
Wow.
So like in your brain you experience like 10 years worth of prison time, but in reality you're just going asleep for a minute.
Yeah. Dude, there was a TNG episode where Picard was sucked into like a little orb and lived an entire life.
Oh yeah, that's a legendary episode.
It's like one of the best sci-fi TV episodes ever. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And like he comes out of it and like
Star Trek here.
Knows how to play a lute at the end. That's how he lived his life.
They call that back. It's really great. Anyway,
it's great.
I digress. Excuse me, trying to read through Dreamkeep here. No, all right. Amazing here. First off, running the fucking Dreamkeep workers here.
Yes.
The Dreamkeep staff, hard at work here, crunching away at some fucking nightmare shit.
I love a fantasy like tech room.
Oh God.
It's just like pressing buttons.
Yeah.
That mix of stone and metal machinery.
Yes, good idea. Yeah, exactly. You were talking about the fantasy sci-fi mashup.
Yeah.
And of course, like, in a power comic, they somehow always find a new way to design shoulder mounts, like, which I love. So then, of course, these guys are hard at work, and then all of a sudden, this bubbling crude is showing up behind them here, which we'll learn the significance behind at a later time. But yeah, so these guys are hard at work. This bubbling crude shows up. And then, of course, one of the workers says to the other, "Quaylar, look! What is happening?" I can't read this. "I know not cray he, but he had best sound the alarm." So, you need like a decoder ring to understand a little bit of this sometimes. But, so we got some bad shit happening here in the middle of the Dreamkeep. Quaylar sounds the alarm, but then all of a sudden it's too late, and some shit blows up in the control room, boys.
Yes, dude.
So we're on board
Very mysterious,
here.
I love it. This is exciting. It's legitimately fucking choom, dude. It's a good choom.
Right through this. It's a good choom.
This is right now, one of my favorite panels of all right here.
This is my favorite, probably one of my favorite drawings in all of Power Comics, actually.
That's really so insane, dude.
Definitely top 10. We should do a top 10 panels video.
And immediately it reminds me of like the super old 90s dungeon crawler point and click games.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah,
totally. Same aesthetic.
You know what I was gonna say actually is, to me this looks like 80s or late 70s, early 80s D&D fanzine art.
Yeah,
you know, like this should be part of something that is stapled together.
Yeah.
And that is the best art created in the world. So
totally. Yep. Absolutely. I completely agree. Again, anything with a long corridor, I'm a fan of. I know you are too, Ben.
Yeah.
I know that.
So good.
I know that for all of us here on this call is a reason we wake up in the morning.
I like corridors too, guys. Come on.
But I just, it's just amazing. It's just incredible. So all of a sudden the alarm sounds. Sorry, go ahead.
Incredible,
what?
Just incredible. I can't. I love that snake. Thing in it's just so good. Such
and then the hand
art.
that where's that hand coming from?
Is that part of the snake?
Yeah,
I think it might be.
That's so trippy. Wow. So obviously the alarm has been sounded, and now all of the creatures and goons that are enslaved in the Dreamkeep are exiting their cells, and then now we see from afar we're introduced to our heroes for the first time. After this unbelievable cold open here. We have Eric. Can't get more creative than that there, guys. Eric and Rasheen. And now they are returning to the Dreamkeep with a new, fresh bustle of prisoners. And which is just beautifully exemplified here on their way to the Dreamkeep. And I love how this claw is coming in over the frame here.
Yeah.
But yeah, just awesome, right?
Yeah.
So good.
It's got some real heavy metal magazine vibes.
Totally.
And this issue.
Totally, and we're definitely going to see some of those influences, I think, show up later in the issue too, even, which we'll get to. So then, from afar, they see that there's a explosion at the Dreamkeep, and they notice it, and they're like, "Whoa, look! Rush in!" And they notice that all the prisoners here are making an escape. And everyone's like, what the fuck's happening? And, Rasheen, the simian man here, is shouting to his homeboy, his Caucasian homeboy, Eric here. And they're noticing that everyone's, piling out of the Dreamkeep. And we got to stay away at a safe distance. Anything to say about this spread here?
The pace of this comic is just frenetic. To me, it's relentless, and it's to the point where it sometimes just trips over itself. It's just trying to get so much out so fast. It really doesn't take the time sometimes that's necessary.
I totally agree. I feel like we could have spent so much more time on this stuff.
Yeah.
And living in it for at least 4 to 6 more pages.
Sure.
But it's still radical. I mean, fast paced.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't change it at all.
No.
Yeah, no, it's totally they're not dragging their feet. I'm not bored. I love it. It's good pacing. I really like it.
I'm sucked in.
I agree.
I'm just living in Rasheen's fur.
Yeah.
Trying to comb his mullet.
Yes.
His front face mullet. So then this is where, it's a little tough for me to follow this action, but what I think is happening here is
agreed.
Rasheen and Eric have some prisoners here, and they're like, yo, you guys got to stay where you are until we figure out what the fuck's going on. So they're pulling their weird, very bizarre weapons out on these prisoners. And then here I'm a little lost. I'm not exactly sure what's happening. They're kind of reconvening. I think we need to wait here until we figure out how this all shakes out. But then something happens here between these characters of one guy getting I don't know, what is that? Like his ponytail being yanked?
I think no. Well, the prisoners are see it as an opportunity to escape.
I see.
Right.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because he's got the collar.
Yeah.
And
just visually, the storytelling was kind of like,
oh yeah, no, it's
who?
Everyone has like fluffy long hair. And
I know. Too much
face.
long hair. But great, amazing. Wrong move, and then he does something to him. I don't know what that's supposed to be.
Oh, what he does is the next page, and it's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah. Oh, he rips the chain.
He decapitates him by ripping out his neck chain.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
It's a badass move.
It really
Good one.
is. Rashane does not fuck around.
No, this guy's serious.
I love this drawing of him here. That's one less thug we have to worry about, Eric. And then Eric is
Eric looks so happy.
Yeah, he's like so happy about like just decapitating a prisoner.
Yeah. There's something going on between these two. I don't know. There's some weird some weird chemistry happening here.
Yeah, for sure.
There's some shit.
And then so now they ready themselves to approach the Dreamkeep, right? And they're going in. Looks like he's mounting this dead body on top of the horse.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's a very awkward panel break.
Yeah.
Stuff,
right.
You know,
yeah.
Really strange.
Yeah. I apologize for the staple falling out of there.
Oh, dang.
Get that fixed.
What'd you do to my Dreamkeep?
And now they're approaching it, and they enter inside, and inside they see Despair. And it looks like these guys are guards from the Dreamkeep, and they're like, oh my god, you guys are a sight for sore eyes. And then he's like, Krillurk. This guy's name is Krillurk. What has happened here? That's what we are still trying to find out. Harker and Ranger are in the control room to see just how much damage is done. This guy's italic lettering here is so hard to read sometimes, but I love it. And then Rashane, I'm afraid to bad news. Your brother has escaped. So then we learn that he has a brother. Did you guys pick up on that earlier? Oh yeah, looks like he was here, right? That must be
no, yeah, I guess
right?
Yeah.
Or wait, no, that's a prisoner. No, that's
a helper.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. He's a helper, but he's saying his brother escaped.
Oh. Yeah, so his brother's one of the
his brother's the next
prisoners.
Page.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll see.
Always the case with Power Comics.
I know. A lot of flipping.
Dude, come on, dude. It makes perfect sense, bro.
Okay, so then we got to find out. So then Rashane's getting down to business here to try and find out what happened. Why are these prisoners able to escape? We have to recapture them. Now he opens the control room and he sees a fucking slaughter.
Yeah.
Slaughter in the Dreamkeep. And Eric and Rashane make their way to the main control room where they find Harker and Ranger looking at a large hole that was burned into the floor. And that's kind of calling back to the ooze that we were seeing bubbling earlier. And these guys are surveying the damage. Again, I love how there's like, button components within the inside of the Dreamkeep.
At this point, it's like, why, they finally start taking their time on something. It takes them 3 pages to walk down the hallway to get to the control room.
That's definitely a Power Comics vibe of like, spending not enough time in the stuff that you should have and spending too much time in the stuff that you didn't need to.
Right.
It's that awkward sense of amateur pacing that makes it also feel like another fucking world.
Yeah, it's great.
Right? Totally.
Yeah.
Like it's also funny too just to kind of see where their obsessions are.
Yeah.
And like the things that they're really fixated on, and it's just funny. It's like another
like meaty legs. That entire page is just meaty thighs.
Fresh meat.
You're right.
It is. It's very true. I love this too. All right.
Yeah.
Like spilling over and like how that kind of adds to the feeling of this is just like him, just like his head just hanging over the frame there. So,
so cool, dude.
Really amazing. Obviously, Homeboy here jumps out. But this is the worst thing that has ever befallen the righteous companionship, Eric. We must capture the escapees and their liberator. Not just, and then they're, screaming back and forth at each other here. And then he goes by. Then the person that they discover is the person behind who masterminded this is a guy named Platiner.
The worst name for a villain. Platiner.
It's like hard even to pronounce in your mind.
It sounds like a pharmaceutical.
It sounds like a bookbinding tool or something. Take your Platiner and fold the leather. It's like a weird, like, utilitarian. Such a dumb name.
He goes by the name Platiner, and our grandfathers thought they had him banished to the underworld forever. He's come back. So Platiner's back, everyone. And then we go back here to a flashback to learn a little more about Platiner.
Great panel.
Platiner had plans. That's what it says, too. Jesus Christ, you guys. Platiner had plans to rule Gwentara. So then we go to some fucking epic battle here from the past. The battle was waged against him was long and bloody. Those that fought and at his side gave their lives willingly. So did the ones who fought bravely against all odds to stop him. How Platiner escaped we cannot say. This is truly Gwentara's darkest day. Cool. Okay.
Down.
Okay, cool little perspective shift here as we see that bubbling hole there. This is where Platiner must have appeared.
Yeah.
And then these guys are still arguing, spending a lot of time and no action here on what to do next.
Pages, yeah.
True.
Yeah. See, guys, this is what I was saying earlier, and you guys were jumping on my case, like, quick. I was just sort of saying, like, it's all great. I love it. But that first 10 pages is really where I'm at. You know, this is where it gets a little wobbly.
Yeah, so it's to, like, slow down. Get the molasses kind of.
The dream keeps setting in, brother. You know?
Yeah, it turns into, like, Law and Order Dreamkeep.
Yeah.
Like CSI.
Yeah, it does.
What would be cool is if the reveal was one of these guys was actually in the Dreamkeep, and this was his nightmare. Was just like sitting around talking about what to do next for
with his dumb partner.
Right. Way to spoil what they would have done next. No,
oh man,
no way, bro.
I'm kidding. But now we know nothing of this Platiner, and who is he? And they just start talking about Platiner. I care nothing of this Planeter fellow, except that he be found and punished. And so then they talk about that. And then he wants to bring his brother back. I will bury his remains forgive me, governing leaders, but I do not plan on bringing my brother in ever again. I will bury his remains where I defeat him. So now we're, talking about some brotherly. Rashane, just going for blood here. Now, this page to me, Mobius.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it has a Mobius vibe for sure.
I mean, this perspective to me is what really kind of...
Mobi-ish.
It's Mobii. Very Mobius adjacent. And, again, probably the heavy metal influence, I'm guessing that was on this issue.
Totally. Oh, my God. Right? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the heavy metal cartoon, the animated feature film.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. So Cantina vibes here as they're back in the open country. Rashane's brother, whose name is Avfurg, 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 is making the most of his newfound freedom, hanging out in this bar, man. And here he is. I love how he's depicted here. Actually.
Yes, dude.
And now we have the cantina scene here. Grog master, bring me another bucket. And something to chew on before I decide you're of no use alive. So,
all right, settle down, Avfur. Come
on. But then all of a sudden, this bubbling crude starts forming again on that floor. And
yeah, I love the idea that Platiner just like melts through floors and just whenever he goes places, and there's just a gaping hole. Like he's just coming to meet this guy, and now they just have a melty hole in the middle of their cantina.
Leaving your melty holes behind.
It's awesome. It's super scary and weird.
It is. It's very.
It's a power move in a lot of ways.
Totally. One more ways than one. So then, okay, and then he is like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "You have your freedom by my hand. It was I who staged the escape. Then I am grateful. I will listen to your plan for reaching a mutual wait. Then I am grateful. I will listen to your plan for reaching a mutual goal." So very copacetic here between these two guys.
Yeah, really.
Very formal arrangement.
Yeah.
They have. I long for my revenge. So then, Eric and Rasheen, they leave the Dreamkeep to be repaired by their remaining brethren and begin. So the Dreamkeep's being worked on by the other dudes that are left behind, and they begin now their search for Plantaner and the escapees, including Rasheen's brother.
I guarantee you, issue 2 would have had like 6 pages of them repairing Dreamkeep and like
totally, yeah.
walls.
That doesn't go there. Yeah, totally. So then they're lost. They don't know even where to start. And they start by going into the valley. There's some sniffing action here. This is actually an amazing drawing. Probably the best Rasheen close up there. And then there's an ambush, brother. Shield yourself.
Boom.
And that's where we're left off for all eternity. That is how Dreamkeep concludes, with some form of a battle. Who knows by whom or why? Was
Rasheen always wearing a one-piece bathing suit the entire comic?
I think so.
Yeah,
he had a bodysuit.
Yeah.
Oh, so trippy.
I just don't think we saw his midsection until now.
Yeah.
Such an action figure.
Yeah.
True.
Incredible. So then you get to the righteous companionship, which is obviously like the government or those who are in power in this world.
Yeah.
So amazing. And then we're left by some ominous transitionary page here. Soon the magic begins again, which I dig.
And then followed by...
Oh, and then we're just taunted and teased by this unbelievable thing that has never come to be. I mean, what December are you talking about, bro? December 2035? I'm still waiting.
Dude, hold your breath.
Oh, my breath will be held. But look at how beautiful this is, guys. Ice Storm, Ben?
Fantastic. Man, I would love to draw Ice Storm. A lot of these like power comics, like I'm like, maybe I'll draw issue 2, you know?
You should.
Like maybe
we should just start a company that's issue 2 only.
Yeah. Yeah, we just take it where it left off, you know, and then somebody else should draw issue 3, like a totally different, you know, story where you just kind of like, yeah, exactly, just kind of continue the narrative.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so I mean,
think
Ice
this
Storm
was a painting, actually. This it looks like a painting. I would love to see that full color.
Yeah.
And we get you actually in the other issues of Modern Night. You know, you get taunted with
wow,
there it is. Yes.
more Ice Storm action, which is really unfair. It's really unfair that those guys. And then look at this one, another glimpse.
Oh
man,
I know. I mean, maybe we should call these guys up and be like, "Yo, did you ever do Ice Storm?"
Yeah,
maybe they did. Man.
You know, it seems like to me. That's one of the things another thing about Power Comics is there sometimes is an issue 2.
I know.
It's like extremely rare, hard to find, probably sitting in somebody's like, you know, stockpile somewhere.
I know. So unfair. But that's why we have to do the work. We have to put it in.
That's right.
Start calling.
And
then in the back, we get
Yep.
the advertisement for Soul Warrior, which they did follow up with.
Right.
And don't be fooled by this kind of goofy cover. This would be a cover that maybe I traditionally might pass over.
What?
In the dollar bin. I don't know.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not into the like kind of more cartoony vibe. I don't know. I'm just.
Oh man.
But inside, it's not the case at all, and it's actually quite amazing. There's a little teaser for you. We will definitely get into Soul Warrior.
We got to read that one because I think. Oh, I think Dazzler might be my all-time favorite because it's just so
mental,
weird, just so stinky.
So, guys, final thoughts on Dreamkeep?
Pick up a copy if you can find it.
Definitely worth that $1 if you.
Yeah, it's a really weird one.
It is. It's great though. I think. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, there's that classic Power discrepancy where the cover does not doesn't look anything like the art inside. Normally that means like there's a lot of them that are really technically pretty well executed, and then the cover is just this terrible afterthought, But something about the Dreamkeep cover, I mean, it's not as technically proficient, but it's really like got good design, and like it's really actually a good graphic cover compared to some of the other ones.
Totally.
It looks like gross candy,
But then you can kind of zero in on this homeboy here.
Yeah, exactly. That guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how like everything sort of, just draws your attention to him inside.
And there's Rasheen there too, which you don't kind of quite pick up.
Yeah.
At first glance, and then the Dreamkeep.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
Great logo with this like weird multicolored fog. It's so cool.
Almost looks like an underground comics, like underground comics.
Yeah,
almost.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I love it. I love Modern Night. I love all their stuff they're publishing. It's so out there. None of them are the same, and none of them look like any other comic.
It's very true.
That's ever been made.
It's very true. And I have to say that on this one, fantasy, the fantasy subgenre of power comics are great, and this is definitely, I think, with Crossed Swords, because we should definitely look at Crossed Swords. Too.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I think those are kind of neck and neck for my favorite all-time fantasy power comic mashup. But this one definitely is just awesome, just because the concept of like being imprisoned, by your worst nightmare inside of a fucking cool sci-fi stone castle it's pretty weird.
Yeah, I mean a lot of these power comics are just these weird non sequiturs of like, 30 minutes in this world with, because they expect 20 issues, and it's just, we're about to get in a fight, and then it ends or whatever.
Yeah.
And usually the fantasy ones.
Well, that's how it ended, actually. But.
Right, of course. They all
we're about to get in a fight, and then nope.
But it's a good setup. It's like entertaining. It's really, like for example, I just reviewed Demons and Dark Elves #1, which is
Have you read that,
impenetrable. Do you know that one, Ben?
I don't think I do.
Okay, you're gonna cream your jeans.
Oh wow!
Look at this wraparound cover.
Wow, that is awesome.
So they're all in this comic.
we gotta do this.
Shoehorn it all in though.
It's just one of those like first page is just this exhausting lore of whatever planet this is, and like
it wears you down. It wears you down.
It really does, and that's what I love about Dreamkeep.
It works you so hard.
It just gives you a couple little kernels, and it pulls you into this weird fantasy world.
Yeah.
And
we should definitely try to crack
too much
it.
Of you.
We should definitely try and crack it.
So
I'm gonna post this one soon.
It's a 5-part series, so we got to get a hold of. I have 1 and 4. I
have 5.
2, 3. All right, man. Yeah. It's like the Power Stones.
Well, let's wrap this up and ride off into the Snarnoff here. So thanks everybody for watching. I didn't plug the Patreon, so I should. If you want to look at these comics even closer than you are now, in full high res, and read them to your friends at night, please go to patreon.com/powercomics, where just for $5 a month you can get high-res scans from our collection, so you don't have to go find these fucking things in the wild.
You can't find them.
Well, you can't find them. It's too hard, and you're going to get arthritis probably, and it's not good. Carpal tunnel. But definitely, check us out on Patreon. Follow us on Instagram at @power_comics. And until next time, I'm Evan, Benjamin Marra, Gabe Deichel. Thanks, guys. Catch you next time.
Yep, thanks.